you have a moon in Gemini in your birth chart, you need to watch this video because I'm sharing the #1 struggle you are going to have in life as a moon in Gemini. Hello and welcome to Making Mindfulness Fun. I'm Isabelle, the co-founder and personality typing expert here at Making Mindfulness Fun. I help you understand who you are using personality typing. One of the methods of personality typing that I use to teach you to understand who you are is astrology. So today I wanted to talk about the most important planet and what it's like to have the most important planet specifically in Gemini. So this video is all about having a moon in Gemini, and what I like to call them is the restless creator. You'd think probably that with how fast I talk and how much energy I seem to have that I have a moon in Gemini, but that is wrong. That is my Mars, and I will do a series later on Mars. But today I'm talking about the moon in Gemini. Before I dive into what exactly it is to have a Gemini moon, what is the moon in the first place, if you don't know? Where your sun sign is the ego self, how you generally perceive yourself, how people would generally describe you, and the things you generally tend to want, and what happens when your ego comes into play. This is like how you see yourself and perceive life. That's the sun. Now, more specifically, based on your time of birth, it can change a lot, is your moon sign. Your moon sign is your emotions, in short. It is not the ego self, the self that has to do with our confidence more and what our values are more. The moon sign has to do with what we need for emotional fulfillment. So knowing your moon sign is quite possibly the most important aspect you can know in your chart. With a moon in Gemini, these people, first and foremost, have so much energy that they can find themselves constantly becoming anxious. And since the moon is also our fulfillment, what is it exactly that a moon in Gemini needs for fulfillment? They need to be able to move and create. Gemini is the archetype of socialization, intellect, debate. They love to talk, in short. Anywhere you have Gemini I like to think it's somewhere you like to work with your hands, or you need to talk in order to think. So if you had a Mercury in Gemini, you need to talk a lot to understand and process. If you have a Mars in Gemini, you need to build with your hands, and you learn best through auditory or communicating it back to people. But with the moon in Gemini, these people find emotional fulfillment through moving and building a lot. You can often find a moon in Gemini doing something practically random and new every day. They can be a jack of all trades, so to say, always renovating something in their house, or doing a new hobby, or working with their hands, or baking something, and now they're doing this, and now they're painting. You'll never know what is happening when it's up to a moon in Gemini because they're so restless. And this is a strength, but it also can become their biggest struggle, because not only is our moon how we find inner fulfillment and emotional fulfillment, but it's also our emotional patterns. So the secret to finding the most emotional fulfillment in life is knowing your moon and transcending the cycle that your moon tends to live through. So with the moon in Gemini, these people are always seeking deeper stimulus because their brain can handle so much, or at least in this specific sphere it can, that they always want something new coming at them. They want to be stimulated at all times, so they can either do this through debate, or through working hands-on, or socializing with friends. So while they're always seeking this newness, it's great for them because it's fulfilling, but then what happens is that they end up becoming over obsessed with those things, and they're not making time probably for their routines or the responsibilities that they need to do. They might have been so busy working on renovating their house or doing something that they forgot to just put away the dishes, and now there's 3 days worth of dishes stacked up. Or what else can happen for Moon in Gemini is that they get into a cycle of being too responsible, because as human beings, as adults, we end up getting in situations where we have to be responsible, and we don't always just get to follow our butterflies, so to say, is how I like to phrase it for any Gemini aspect. We don't always get to just follow our curiosity. We have to show up to work at 9, clock out at 5, get groceries, make dinner, live on the routine. And if you're a moon in Gemini and you find yourself living this routine very often, you're going to find yourself forming a ton of anxiety. Because Gemini is so restless and has so much mental energy, this moon sign can be the worst with anxiety. They probably have extreme amounts of worry. They find themselves rubbing their hands, anxiously doing tasks so much because they can't channel the energy. And so they end up living super anxious, and this can help, not help, but This can end up impacting their physical health. This can impact their mental health. It can impact their joy for life. So what should a moon in Gemini do? First and foremost, just become aware of the cycle. Moon in Gemini, are you noticing yourself forming lots of anxiety because you have subconsciously or consciously all these ideas that you want to either spitball or you want to try, build hands-on, but you're not letting yourself do them because you don't have the time for them? Notice that first. And if you're on the other end, if you're not feeling super anxious and worried, are you noticing yourself avoiding responsibility and just following your butterflies too much? I have Gemini in my chart too, so I totally understand what it means to feel like you get just so carried away by your curiosity. Notice that first. But in the end, a moon in Gemini is going to struggle the most with their worry and their anxiety and their restless energy. So they're going to need to find ways to channel that, because what ends up happening is that they're going to live in the pattern for the rest of their life where they go, curiosity, I'm going to follow it, I'm going to chase every butterfly imaginable, I'm going to just do what sounds fun. Oops, I forgot about my responsibility. Now I need to go drop all those and focus on responsibility. Now I'm anxious and tired and I don't know why, and I feel restless and I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack because I don't know how to channel the energy, and now I'm just stuck in the loop over and over and over. So if this is something you struggle with as a moon in Gemini, hit the link below to join Be the Hero, where I teach you how to break the cycle and fulfill your moon sign so that you can live in optimal health. And it doesn't have to be hard. It sounds overwhelming, especially for a moon in Gemini who's so mentally active, but it doesn't have to be hard. So hit the link below to join Be the Hero, our monthly membership, where I'm going to teach you how to understand your personality, including your moon sign, and our other coaches teach you how to live in optimal health as well and overcome anxiety. And leave a comment below and let me know what else you struggle with as a moon in Gemini. What did I miss that you feel like you struggle with, and what parts resonated? And stay tuned for further videos on the moon signs.